We're backstage here at Cyprus Avenue in Cork City, joined by the one, the only Diamond Dallas Page. Tonight, you're going to be speaking to us at your spoken word show, an audience with Diamond Dallas Page. It's great to have you here.
Well, thanks, man. I wish I could spend more time here. Next time I will. When I come through and I'm doing a DDP yoga workshop, then I'm actually speaking for a couple days, because I don't like this blow in and blow out but with this type of tour, this is my 8th city, and I did 2 DDP yoga workshops as well, so I've been here for about 12 days, and you count the day fly in, day fly out. It's a long 2 weeks, rushing one show into another.
I'm fascinated by the DDP yoga system. I mean, I know there are so many ways that guys can get fit, but can you tell me, in your own words, what is different about this system as opposed to any other?
I think more than anything, first off, it's attitude, because most yogis are, very namaste, DDP yoga way more TNA, and originally I meant TNA, like there was smoking hot chicks and regular guys, but then so many people, so many women loved the workout, I backed off on that whole TNA thing, and just went with tone and attitude, which it was that too, because it's more like a boot camp class, except you don't beat up your body. You heal your body. Like, I've got people who've lost literally hundreds of pounds, and it's not a weight loss program. It just happens to be a really awesome side effect. And if you look at what most medicine's side effects are, my side effect is you might lose some weight. If you really work at it, you can lose a lot of weight and get really lean and muscular and all of that. But more than anything, it's to take athletes, men and women that have been beat the F up, and they're getting in their 30s, 40s, and so on. They need something to heal their body. Like the biggest workouts in the world right now are P90X, Insanity, and CrossFit. They're great workouts, but they beat the hell out of your body. My workout does the same thing, but not only is it a kick-ass cardiovascular workout, it will dramatically increase your flexibility and break up scar tissue and strengthen your core like never before with minimal joint impact. So there's no other workout that does all 3 tenets of fitness.
Right. Well, you've had tremendous success stories. I've heard all sorts of really harrowing stories of people who were physically disabled and they've managed to recuperate. You must be very proud when you see that kind of result happening. It must be a big thing when somebody manages to turn their life around based on the system. Yeah,
it's amazing. I was just in London and Manchester, and it was at least 9 of the 50 people at each workshop that I was at. And they're not cheap. They come in there. We're spending 3 hours though, but it's not all workouts. It's a lot of it's mental. I really get into people, and there's no spiritual. I took all and got rid of that and replaced it with positive energy. And if you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. I'm working on the can, and if you say can't, throw in yet, because that makes it possible. So that's the message that I give to a lot of people. And the disabled veteran, Arthur Borman, 5'6", 297 pounds, could not move get around without knee braces, back brace. That took 20 minutes every morning to put on, and those wraparound canes. At the end of that video that's up on Facebook, now YouTube, it's everywhere, but on our YouTube channel, DDP TV, it has over 10 million views. And over that 10 months, that 4-minute video's in, he loses 140 pounds. But more importantly, he loses the knee braces, the back brace, and those wraparound canes. And not just walk, but to run. When Jericho saw that, Chris Jericho, and his back was blown. He did that Dance with the Stars thing, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't Dancing with the Stars that blew his back out. It was the 20 years of wrestling before that. Chris saw that video. He said, Dallas, you tell me what to do, and I'll do it. If that can happen for me, in 5 weeks, Chris Jericho was 85% pain-free. In 3 months, he was 100% pain-free, and he headlined WrestleMania. Now, to understand the cardiovascular conditioning that DDP yoga is, it's not stretching. It's a complete workout like no other workout. Chris Jericho only does DDP yoga. Right. He took off 6 months after, a little ways after Mania, and he came back, not last year, but the year before, to the Royal Rumble. He was in the #2 spot. Now, if you take off wrestling for any period of time, you get blown up fast.
Sure, yeah.
He showed up at the number 2 spot. He wrestled for 47 minutes and 53 seconds. And it was 15 guys. Dustin Rhodes being one of them. Goldust. You ever seen Goldust move this good?
We know what.
I mean, like, ever this good? He's 44.
Yeah, right.
But he's been doing DDP yoga for 3 years.
Wow, right.
You know, so that's a lot of the secret to a lot of guys. Ryback, Santino, Damian Sando was the smartest. He came up to me at one of the TV tapings, and he said, Dallas, he goes, I'd love to try your DDP yoga. I said, well, what are you looking to do with it? He goes, preventative maintenance. Right. Like, let me do this before I get hurt. I go, wow, dude,
Smart
okay.
kid. Yeah, he's on the bus.
Smart.
How did you transition from I suppose the sports entertainment side into yoga?
What'd you call it?
Professional wrestling people. That's what we're all about.
No. What'd you call what I do?
Okay, I'm sorry, but did I say sports entertainment?
What's it called?
DDP yoga.
Yeah, don't call my shit yoga. You get a chop like whack.
Oh, the DDP yoga.
I don't ever call it yoga. You'll
Sorry,
never hear
man,
me call it yoga.
That's an apology.
Ever.
I'm going to apologize to the
And right
wrestling
here,
audience.
you can see what the tag size is. What's that say?
It ain't your mama's yoga. I'm sorry, bro.
Well,
DDP yoga.
You know what it comes down to? It comes down with guys like me, and I don't know, maybe you, because now it's a lot different. Like 15 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago when I first did this, God, it's 14 years now, God. I'm a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga because it's just not part of my headspace. I was ignorant, and I had that big wall up there, like a lot of people watching this. Mm-hmm. And when you blow your back out, you know, you have to understand, I didn't start wrestling until I was 35. My career didn't take off until I was 40. That was 96 when the wrestling blew up huge in my country with the Monday Night Wars. 97 and 98, I was on top of the world. Bang! That's when I blew my back out. I ruptured my L4 and L5. That's the lowest part of your vertebrae. And when you rupture, it's like, think of a jelly donut. And a jelly donut's are like discs. Well, squish a jelly donut. No more jelly donut. No more discs. So it's bone on bone. And it's extremely uncomfortable. Jericho was just on what? His L4. Herniated. He was like, just one. And it put him out. I had 2. And this workout, when you see me go up on stage, because I'll eventually put my forehead on my shin to pick my foot over my head. Right. Like, from sitting there for an hour and a half to do that, like cold. Yeah. Because my body is so conditioned, and my mind. Sure. Yeah. I'm going to be 58 the day that I induct Jake Roberts into the Hall of Fame. It's my birthday. There is no better birthday present you could have. We've been filming the movie Resurrection of Jake the Snake. It's a documentary we started 16 months ago. It'll have a button on it on April 5th because that's what it was about. Right. Resurrecting a champion to where he needed to be after 20 years. Sure. You know, you talk about a Rocky movie, like a real life Rocky movie, and along the way, Scott Hall too. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, like, but neither one of these guys probably do this without the Arthur video, without seeing that disabled veteran. If you're watching this and you haven't seen that video up, I'm sure you guys will put a link up there, but go to ddpyoga.com. Sure. It's the first video you will see. And that guy, I inspired one man. We got over 10 million views, which literally means he's inspired millions. And from that, what are the stories that come out of that and then come out of that? So it's you know, what I did in wrestling was the coolest thing ever. I mean, I lived the dream at a different level. But what I'm doing today with DDP Yoga, it's like nothing I can explain because I'm watching people who I'm inspiring inspire others. And then they get that jack. It's as good to me as people going out there. There's nothing like 22,000 people chanting your name. Yeah. Ain't nothing like it. But this is pretty damn close.
And how did you find with, you know, Jake Roberts sort of really coming back to the program and returning to WWE Raw? That must have been a huge moment for yourself to see that happen.
It was amazing. Triple H, a year before, we'd run into each other at a radio. We were both, he was doing PR for WWE and I was doing PR for DDP Yoga. I was out in LA. And he knew I wanted to bring Jake last year to to the Hall of Fame.
Sure, yeah.
Just two there. Because we were doing a signing at WrestleCon, which we'll be at this year again. We'll be at WrestleCon on Saturday. I'm also doing a DDP yoga workshop on the Friday before down in New Orleans. And I just wanted to bring them to the Hall of Fame last year. And you have to be sober for a year. WWE has certain rules, and that's a good one. And Paul told me then, he's like, Dallas, I would love to help Jake not only get, be able to come there, but to, be inducted, because we both know he deserves to be inducted, but he's got to, sober himself up first, and you've already started that. So it was a year later. I got that. I've talked to. I went down. I trained a lot of the guys down at the WWE Performance Center. They all did DDP yoga, all of them. Like, he brought me down there 3 months ago, and I'm going back again. And they all got the DVDs. They're all doing it. But he is a believer because he's seen so many of his guys, because there's no more painkillers.
Sure.
There's no more muscle relaxers and somas and all that stuff.
Everything is safe.
Yeah, so they're like so regulated there when it comes to prescription drugs. Big time, any kind of drugs, but especially that. But this is their new painkiller. So to be able to give that back. And he called me up and he said, listen, we want to bring you in for old school Raw. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to do your thing, man. I'm gonna put you in the back and do that thing where you pull your foot over your head. He goes, that's always impressive as hell. He goes, have fun with it. They wrote me up a little script. I couldn't believe it. It was like, take the DVDs and show them.
Sweet.
It shut down my site. We got so many hits.
That's amazing.
And it was great because I'm about to be on Shark Tank like 2 months later from when that happens. So that let me know my site was nowhere near strong enough. You know what's Shark Tank? It's like the Dragon's Den that you guys have.
Yeah.
Right. That's the original, your guys' show. Okay. We do it over there, and that was huge for me. I put on 25 different servers on my site that time, and we never went down. And and we got crushed, meaning like in a good way. Right. It was amazing. It was amazing. But he said, I want you to do that. And he said, so what's Jake doing on Monday? I said, really? He said, really? I said, whatever you want him to do. And I tell a story about that. I'll probably tell it at the end tonight.
Yeah. So I'm sure like the Hall of Fame itself is going to be, obviously, to say the end of the film, but emotional more than anything to be up there.
Wow.
Pressure you're feeling a little bit? Or
nope.
You just...
Nope. I don't even think about that right now. I know it's going to be the strongest shit I've ever said.
Just go out and
just friggin' and I will have something planned that I'm going to say.
Yeah. Loosely about you.
But I'll know what I'm going to say before I walk up there. That doesn't mean I'm going to say it. It's knowing I have the plan. Like tonight, I know what I'm going to say when I got there, but I don't know exactly how I'm going to say it. Yeah. And I might tell different stories and not even get to that. Mm-hmm. It's funny because last night I had Belfast. There was a lot of people who do DDP yoga, like a lot, like surprisingly a lot. How many people had the program, wanted me to sign and stuff, and I didn't have anything to sell because I ran out. Before I ever got here. And I never even talked about being at Mania and doing the DDP yoga workshop. And people are saying, hey, I'm coming to Mania. Are you going to be there? I'm like, yeah. Did you guys see the commercial we just did about going down there? Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. Because we do this 3-way call, like the old school, like your body comes in when you're talking on the phone. It's pretty funny, and you'll see. I don't want to spoil it for you. That's cool. But I've got really, really creative people working with me. I have an awesome team. When Jake came to Raw, he came separately from me. They flew him into DC, which was 80 miles away. Sure. They drove him in, stuck him in a bus. No one saw it was him. Yeah. No one knew till he walked through that curtain, because even walking him to the stage, no one saw him because they kept him way around from everybody. So the boys in the back, I just wanted to watch them go, Jake. Yeah. It was awesome.
That is cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, I even wondered when I saw that, did the guys in the ring know he was coming? The Shield.
They do. Ambrose, just being, Dean is an amazing worker. All those guys are. All the guys from the Shield, of course. CM Punk speaks for himself. But he laid the snake on him. Ambrose was laughing because what happened?
I remember that.
The snake shit on him. That's
what we found out.
It was old school. If you had JBL saying, "Is this even legal anymore?" But you know, it's been fantastic to kind of see your career over the years and to watch some of the great moments. World Heavyweight Champion in WCW, WWF, of course, and so many great matches over the years. I suppose, talking a bit about the wrestling side of things, who would you consider to be one of your greatest opponents, if you could pick one?
There's only one, you know, for the best, you know, for the real heated rivalry was the feud of the year, according to Pro Wrestling Illustrated in 1997, ahead of Brett and Steve, which was an awesome angle those guys had. But me and Savage, that angle, that made my career. The intensity of the matches were live. You can watch those. You'll be able to watch those matches 50 years from now and go, that shit was real. I don't know what the rest of those guys are doing, but what those guys are doing, those promos they cut on each other.
That was the call out with Kimberly and that, was it?
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. Yeah. And the whole thing where we had literally done a shoot in celebrity nudes for Playboy. You know, I'm like, what do you mean they want me in it? And she's like, well, they want you to be tying your boots as I'm just about to slip into something. And I shot it and did all that without telling Bischoff or anybody. I just did it because I was figuring, you guys aren't doing anything for me. You don't really believe in me. I do. You don't. I do. And when I told Bischoff right before it came out, he's like, dude, you could lose your job over this. I go, well, maybe Vince will do something with it. And next thing you know, it was the angle.
How about golden moments again, like the one with Sting, Flair, Hogan, and the championship?
Oh, that must
have been like a complete career highlight for you.
Yeah, it was it. You know, I mean, to be in the ring and gonna put Hogan out, you know, with the figure four that Brett came up with on the post, and for Nate of all people, and to me, Nature, Shawn Michaels. I don't know who's the best, you know, overall, you know, if you put years in or whatever, but one of those two guys, you know, for Nature Boy to take the cutter in the middle. And me and him had our differences throughout our careers big time, like we both talked some shit about each other, you know, and for him to do that, do business was really big. And today, me and Nature are awesome, you know, grounds. You know, we buried the hatchet about 3 years ago, and I've seen him a couple times. So I saw him at the Old School Raw. Come by, give me a big hug, and it's good because I love the guy. You know, I don't want to have heat with him. I don't care what he said or what I said. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, let's move forward.
How do you find the business today? I know you mentioned Triple H. You think the positioning of him coming forward in front of Vince a little bit is a good thing for the business? How do you see it, the general landscape?
No, Vince is still the grand poobah. You know, don't make no mistake about that. But you know, Paul's going to be awesome, and that's what I personally believe because I got a lot of history with him. He was there. Johnny Ace gave me the version of his Ace Crusher, which I turned into Steven Regal's cravat hold and the explosive out of nowhere moves of the DDT. He was there that day, and one day, years later, he did the diamond cutter for a finish. I was like, oh no, because I was just getting it over big time. So I called him up. He said, hey, Paulie, what's up, man? He's like, hey, D, what are you doing? I go, I got a favor, bro. He goes, what do you need? He goes, whatever you need. He goes, whatever you need. I said, well, don't say that till I ask. I got no right to ask you, bro. You know, the bottom line is, we talked about it, and I said, if you would, you know, not do that again, bro, I would so appreciate it. I said, yo, you got all that work ethic that I got, but you got 15 years younger than me. Sure, yeah. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it, D. I'd never do it again. And he didn't. And he didn't have to do that. You know, Paul Levesque, a.k.a. Triple H, has been one of the most solid guys I've ever met in this business. So nobody can talk no shit about him around me. Yeah. You may have your own beef with him, whoever it is, but no one who don't know ain't got nothing to say about him around me. Yeah. Because, you know, he's always been a stand-up guy to me. Yeah. This right here, he told me a year ago, I will try everything to try to get, you know, Jake at some point in here when they feel he's ready all the way around. Yeah. And he made it happen. He was the head. His guy speared that.
Listen, we're looking forward to your show tonight here at Cyprus Avenue, and it's a great pleasure to be able to speak to you. I hope that you will come back here again sometime soon for this type of show. Yeah,
you know, I don't know if I'll do a show like this, but I'll definitely do a workshop here, and then we'll build something. You know, because this is what this is today. It's giving people a taste of an inspirational conversation with DDP, and it'll be their questions will pop in as well too. But in the beginning, it's gonna, you know, lay the groundwork for who this guy is and how many adversities that I've overcome to get to where I am. Because if I can do it, so can you, so could you, and so can you.
Exactly. Listen, thanks very much for that. It's been a great pleasure, and hope you have a good show tonight.
Thank you, fellas. It's been your pleasure.